Hello, welcome to one more webinar organized by the VR AR Association of Portugal. My name is Eduardo Acquarone. I'll be the host today. And I'm very pleased to announce that we have four amazing panelists, each one in a different corner of the world with different backgrounds and expertise. And we're going to talk about immersive web. I'm going to introduce all of them very quickly. And after that, they're going to do a brief presentation, and then we'll talk a little bit. Our special guest today is Indira from the South Korean company Let's See. Hi, Indira, welcome. Are you in Seoul right now, right?
Hey, good evening. Yeah, I'm in Seoul now. It's middle of the night here. Very glad to be able to present in front of you here now.
Very, very nice to meet you. Our second guest is Gonçalo Pratas. Gonçalo is a managing partner of MGO, and he's in Cape Verde, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yes, I'm in the Cape Verde. I live here for 10 years, and we are in the middle of the ocean, but with one thing to understand everything about technology and be in the top of what could be done. And I'm very interested in knowing about WebVR and WebAR.
Welcome, Gonçalo. Thank you. And also on a lovely island, a little bit closer to Portugal, is João Moreira. He's in the Madeira Islands. João is a developer and co-founder of The Merchants. Welcome, João.
Hi, Eduardo, and welcome, and thank you so much for having me. And yes, we are in Madeira Island, which is also a very beautiful place, a little bit north to Cape Verde, and a little bit closer to Portugal too. So, but a great place to do technology, just like Cape Verde.
That's great. And our last panelist is another João Rodrigues, who is creating very unique storytelling virtual tours. João is also in a very beautiful place, Évora. Welcome, João.
Hello, thank you for inviting me also. Yes, right now I'm in Évora, in Alentejo, which is a very sunny region. It's almost beautiful like Madeira and Cape Verde. We have good food, we have good sun, we have good beaches, because it's not just Algarve, it's Alentejo also has pretty good beaches, so they are warmer each year. They are getting warmer. I don't know if this is a thing to be cautious about, but it's a good thing right now. Thank you.
Right. And well, let's start with the presentations. Indira, welcome. And I have to say that it's very nice to bring together South Korean companies and Portuguese companies. So maybe you can tell us and everybody who is watching a little bit about your company, what you do, and how you see the immersive web. Thank you.
Hi again. Yeah, I'm thankful. Thank you very much again for inviting us here. And it's a great opportunity to talk to people from different parts of the world, especially now when we cannot travel. So yeah, I work for Let's See. It's a South Korean startup company. We provide WebVR solutions. So I assume every person here and everyone who is listening to us here know what is augmented reality. So I don't have to start explaining from that basics. But usually when you want to access to some augmented reality content, you need to download application, and we provide it on the web where you need your smartphone, and you can access it with your smartphone camera and a web browser in your phone, and it doesn't matter what kind of a phone you have. So we're trying to bring WebVR to make it more accessible, so everyone can have access to WebVR, as a person who want to watch it as a consumer, and as a person who is creating it to publish it. So publishing will be easier. Like if to talk about differences of our company with companies that already exist, there are not that many WebVR companies, and there are 8Volt that everybody know. But the difference between us is that 8Volt provide their solution with which is compatible with WebGL, and our solution is also compatible with HTML. I believe we are the only company who provide it this way, because our CEO, he studied WebAR his entire life. He has PhD in computer science. It was the main topic of his research. He registered some patents. So that's why we have this amazing technology. I probably want to share some video, some greetings from our CEO, if you will let me to do so. Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Perfect.
I don't think we have audio.
Yes, Eduardo, no audio.
Yeah, we can see your CEO, but we can't listen to the video.
Oh, you cannot hear it?
No. Maybe you can show the video and explain basically what's going on.
Okay, but you see my CEO, right? I'm sorry for that. Yeah, interesting why there is no sound. So basically, he's talking about that you don't really need to search for something. You can look around, because augmented reality is bringing whatever is online to real world. That you can augment whatever you want, and it's easier to access it with WebAR. That's what he's talking about. Well, our company been around for some years already. We were doing different things before, but now we stand on the way to making WebVR solutions. In Korea, we work with some large corporations. We work for probably what you will know, the Samsung Electronics. We made solutions. We are currently working with LG Electronics. We are talking about some really big projects for next year with them. And we never worked with companies outside of Korea, and looking forward to do that. I cannot really show you what we've done so far for LG Electronics or Samsung Electronics, but I can show you like some little demo videos of what we do or what is possible with our technology. And let me share my screen again. You don't need audio for this video. So this is one of the demos that we made. You can probably see the Last Supper by Da Vinci. Content that published with our SDK, it can be interactive, so you can add the buttons, you can add video, you can add audio to the content. It can be in 3D models too, so you can add some sounds to it. It's pretty cool, I think. And as I said, I cannot show what kind of works we did for corporations like LG Electronics, but this is example of this is not some product that we did for our clients. It's just another demo that we made for just to exhibit our SDK. And this is the project that we made for Seoul City, because Seoul City is trying to implement smart city projects into some regions. So that's what we've done for one of the, to raise the awareness about the environments, and we have a lot of problems with the air cleanness. This was another marketing campaign for one of the most popular Korean food company. They were promoting their noodles. So it's all pretty easy to do and very accessible with the WebAR technology. And we usually provide our SDK, so you don't really have to host the contents on our service. You can do it in wherever you are located in the world, so you don't have the problems with the legislation, first of all, because in some countries you are not supposed to host your user contents of any information about the citizens in service in other countries, and it also solves the problems with internet connections, because if you want to publish some 3D models, it can take some time, and if it's hosted in service in your country, it will be much faster. And we also we have developer website that is only available in Korea in Korean language at the moment, but we are launching the global version this month. And I also wanted to show how it works. I asked my developers, because I don't have a technical background, so I asked my developers, is it really easy to publish in WebAR? Is it like really what you're telling it is? And I asked them to show small demo video, how long it will take you, someone who actually tried to do it, how long it will take you to publish something. So I will show you. I kind of speed it up so you don't ask me a lot of developing related questions. Yeah. You can see that it's pretty easy. And on the right side of the screen, it's a Let's See developer website that I was talking about. It's currently in Korean, but I think it's in next week, it will be launching an English version. So to publish something in WebVR don't really take time. And from what I've been explained, you don't really need to have AR expertise, just basic code knowledge will be enough to do that. So it's pretty fast. Even for someone who doesn't know anything about the code.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's pretty it about what we do. We try to, as I said, we try to bring augmented reality to try to make it more accessible. It's kind of easy to do it in South Korea because here, people in South Korea, they are very into technologies, they are very spoiled, so it's very hard to surprise them. So they are okay. Augmented reality is not something surprising for them. Virtual reality is, you can see virtual reality shops everywhere, like wherever you walk, anywhere. So it's not that hard to make some marketing campaigns for people here, and it's not something like out of the world when you talk about augmented reality here. But I'm not sure how big of a challenge to bring this new technology in other part of the world, and I would be interested to listen about it too. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to explain you or to answer it.
That's great. I think that we're going to talk a little bit more about the similarities and differences between like the Korean and the Asian market to the European and the Portuguese market. That's something very, very interesting. And I'll talk to Gonçalo now. Gonçalo, you of course you're an expert in Portugal when you do consulting. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the market in Portugal and what you do and how you see the market for immersive.
Hello, and thank you very much for the opportunity to talk with you regarding the immersive technology. For what I'm seeing in Portugal and in Cape Verde, even worse, people don't really understand yet what will be the world with augmented reality. And there are some experiments for some groups of people that normally are in the technology world, but most of the people only know Pokemon Go, which for the technical guys is not an augmented reality, really augmented reality. Okay, it's a kind of augmented reality. And that's it for now. But I think with when the big brands start to speak about it, people will be more interested and will search for it and will try to understand it. And when I talk that the web in a couple of years will be a 3D web and you will not have a flat screen anymore, and people don't believe, they say that it will be far away from now. But for us that we are in the technology, we know that companies like Let's See are investing in democratizing this kind of technology, bringing it to the web. Another topic that I would like to discuss, and if you like to speak about it, it will be the laws and the government problems that we'll have with this kind of technology. Because if you democratize too much the technology, anyone can do anything. Okay, and instead of a beautiful green characters that you showed when you point your smartphone to the noodles, someone could develop another website with the same image and put something that is not good. Okay, so it will be a challenge with that democratization, there will be challenges to the content that the people will develop. Okay, and it's something that when I speak with other people about that, to bring something that is not there to a room and make pictures and send to others, they see, oh, it's good, but what are the catch? Okay, so people probably don't like to be with another one that is not in the room, but it's a 3D character, exactly the same as the person, and then you send a photo with that person besides you, and you don't know what will be the reaction of other people when you see it. So there are a lot of concerns regarding legal issues that we should be talking, and we should be aware of it. Regarding the work that I'm doing with immersive technology, I have some ideas here in Cape Verde. We are in the middle of the ocean with some problems regarding going abroad. It's very expensive to leave the country and leave one island to the other. And there are some good ideas that this type of technology can solve, like virtual museums where you can put markers and people can visit with their smartphones and see exhibitions of something that is not there. But museums for kids, museums for all kind of museums, you can do it with this kind of technology, and it's an idea that we have to make here, even between islands, to bring objects or cultures from one island to the other. It will be good ideas for projects that WebAR can solve.
Well, thank you, Gonçalo. It's very easy to see that we have two very different experiences, and the South Korean one is very different, of course, from Cabo Verde, and but also I think we can create a lot of things in common and things to work together. So let me go now to João Moreira. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what you do with the merchants and how you see if from Madeira things look more similar to South Korea or to Cabo Verde, or if you have a different vision.
Yeah. Well, so I'm the CTO for the merchants, and in general, what we do is we create futuristic solutions that people can use today. And we do it mainly using the web, because a lot of years ago, when we started working with immersive technologies, one of the first problems we had was trying to get people to install our apps. When someone went into a museum, no one wanted to spend 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes even downloading an app and installing it just so they could have a 1 hour visit on a museum. So from that time on, and with that bad experience on our back, we started working with WebXR to build our solutions. And the way we went around it was we started to create our own framework, using a lot of different components and a lot of different parts, and we started to build our own framework, which today we call Limpressive. And the Limpressive framework encompasses both the backend, so there's an easy way for people to manage AR and VR content on our solutions, but also the front end. And by that, I mean that people can easily access it in a beautiful and well-designed and user-friendly way, all the content that we built. So we did a lot of custom work for several companies over the years and brands. And then we started to create our own solutions. And by solutions, I mean actual products that could be useful for different industries. And so we, in terms of WebAR, we created 3 main products that we are commercializing today. The first one is for museums and art galleries. It's called Legendar or Legend AR, whatever. And it's basically it basically uses augmented reality to expand captions in museums. So when you see an item in a museum and there's like a small caption, usually written in only 1 or 2 languages, and if you want to know anything else or anything more about that specific item, you usually have to ask someone, or you have to look into a huge guide, or you have to download some app. So we turned it upside down, and we use image recognition to read the captions and then open, using the web, open all the information regarding that piece, and also provide augmented reality that can go along with that item. So for example, it can be a guide telling you something about that piece, or it can just be another item that is part of a set, and that you can put right there beside the other one and compare them, for example. And this is Legend AR. We already are commercializing it and selling it, and on 2021 it will probably be on around 5 or 10 museums already, which is really cool. Also, the other product we have is Visualizer, and Visualizer is basically AR for e-commerce, but we're doing it in a very massive way. So it's AR for e-commerce for very big websites that have thousands of products. So we figured out a way to help them manage all of that and all the 3D assets that they need, and also using photogrammetry, we have an automatic way of turning their product photos into 3D assets. So it's a big system that allows developers from that company to just put one line of code onto their websites, and suddenly they have access to an entire library of AR assets for them. In regard to this, we are currently working with one of the biggest consumer electronics companies in Spain. We're doing a pilot with them, and it's being really good. So in probably 1 to 2 months, we'll have some more news about it. And finally, something completely different here. We have Unheard of. Unheard of is our data by audio solution. So Unheard of allows people to send data over their speakers and microphones in their smartphones. So basically what this allows you is to create not only near-field communications, but you can also do huge broadcasts. So for example, currently we can't go to shows, live shows, but if we could use Unheard of to sync multiple smartphones in a stadium, for example, and get them to blink at the same time in the same color, for example. The same thing could be used to send the lyrics for the song being sung at that same time, so that everyone could follow along, or choosing just one smartphone out of everyone to give them a special prize, or to say that that person could come to the stage and sing along with the artist. And at the same time, this is like what we call far field communication. And at the same time, we can use it to do near field communication. So, for example, we did our own Pokemon Go version with farm animals for a museum here in Madeira. And all the multiplayer competition between several animals happens through our sound technology. So no need to send over information through the web, because this museum is in the middle of nowhere and there's almost no internet. So everything can work offline and use that kind of, I'm here, you're there, let's fight. And at the same time, we recently used this technology to do something really simple but really cool, which is getting an AR asset on my smartphone into my VR headset and walking around it. So by using sound, I can trigger a WebVR page on my headset and tell it to open the same asset I have here. So I can be seeing something here, and then I can take my VR headset, and now I'm seeing it, but in VR. So short near field communication that can send something from AR to VR and back, even if needed. And that's it. I know it's quite a lot, and I have some videos I could show you if anyone wants to see anything. I have some demos here that can show and not tell all of this, if you guys want to see it. But basically, that's it. In terms of WebXR, that's what we're doing right now. So trying to create products for specific industries, so museums, so events, and e-commerce in this specific case.
Well, that's great. Maybe you can show one of your videos just a little bit later. And I would love for the pandemic to be over to go to Madeira to see in person your solutions.
Please, all of you are invited. Come over and let's talk and drink some poncha, which is a traditional drink here.
Yeah. And let's go now to Joao Rodrigues. I'm very keen to hear about what he has to say. I'm as a journalist, I'm very interested in storytelling and to understand, of course, the troubles, of course, that you probably had during the pandemic with virtual tours, and I'm not sure if you tried to make them on the web or what's going on with you and how you see the market and your piece of the board. Please, João.
Yeah. We are with Ciango. We are right now in the stage of building an MVP. We built an MVP, but we are now testing the MVP and we are trying to launch it as soon as possible. And that MVP is it's what we call Ciango Cloud Studio, which is a web software, a cloud-based software, which allows anyone to build their storytelling virtual tours. It's relatively to our competitors, to other softwares that allows you to build virtual tours. The difference between ours is that we are working, and we already have some tools on the software that are really easy to build a storytelling virtual tour. Not just an empty virtual tour with empty showing empty spaces and 3D and all of that. We decided to bet on a more engaging way on building virtual tours, because from our experience, we built lots of virtual tours for clients and for ourselves, and there was always a missing key point, which was engagement. The technology itself is engaging, but not engaging to a person that doesn't know how to even navigate on 360, to even navigate on their VR glasses. We are trying to build a storytelling way of building virtual tours. So the difference, the only difference here is that we are giving the user tools, specific tools, like video editing, like specific tools that allows you to tell your story in a more interactive way, that other softwares on this market simply don't have, because they allow you to build just empty spaces and in 3D and also that, but we decided to bet on storytelling. So the thing is, one of the great value here is the content, not just our tool, but the content and the guidelines we are giving to the user, because everyone can become a storyteller. Everyone can follow our guidelines and easily record themselves telling their story, getting facts about their story or their place, the history of their place, and that's what positions us in terms of other virtual tour softwares. So this is always also based on WebXR. So our building blocks are open source APIs. So we are not building a new wheel, a new technology, a new framework like João. That's one thing that I also would like to work on, but right now it's not possible for me to do that. But eventually we will try to build our own framework just to this specific tool that we are building here, because the tool is also ready to live stream, just like the recently launched Amazon Explore or Explorer. I don't know if I'm spelling right, but we are trying we are trying to build a system similar like that that allows you to live stream your story or storytell your in live stream your business, because this storytelling is not just stories about fiction, about whatever. This is storytelling applied to business. Okay, so we give the user the functionality to integrate their online stores. For example, you can sell your product online directly on the virtual tour with integrations on Shopify, for example. You can integrate your booking, your booking.com software on API on our virtual tours. So this is also in most of the times focused on storytelling for business, to help people drive their business through storytelling. So that was one of the use cases that proved we are in the good way, because even during this pandemic, lots of people, lots of business owners, mostly from tourism, so that's why we are more related to tourism, they wanted to know more about this. They wanted to promote their business, and they wanted to be different from their competition. So they see in our product a difference in in how to tell their how to lead more, to get more leads, to generate more leads to their business. So that's one of the things that the pandemic proved, because in the digital world, this kind of businesses, they need this kind of solutions just to promote themselves and generate more leads. So this is a really focused product that we are building here, that we know that helps this kind of businesses, mostly in tourism, but also any business applies to engaging a storytelling virtual tourism, right? So about the technology, about being more technical here, I would like also to bring the big words that I think we are missing on some aspects on our community, is the spatial web, right? The spatial web is a big word that we have to start educating the market, our market, because that's one of the big words that we are going to have struggle, like we had years ago with explaining what VR is and explaining what AR is. So because later, sooner or later, we have to explain that our clients that we are building a solution for them that allows them to drive their users and to introduce their users more seamlessly to their products, right? So explaining I think it's gonna be, well, it's normal. It's gonna be really difficult to explain our clients. Well, we have a product on spatial web. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to use it? First of all, what is spatial web? Well, what are the advantages of me having a solution on spatial web? So so we have to explain that to our clients, and we have to educate our communities as soon as possible about this, because AR and VR are mainstream right now, but as the technology grows, we will be using spatial web solutions without even knowing. So we must because let me give you a practical example. If we mix big data or cloud data with IoTs and with image recognition as AR, that may be considered a spatial web solution, right? So the clients, and for marketing purposes, right? Because as we know, we have the advantage of saying we have technology on VR and AR. This is the key points that sell, right? And we have to transform the spatial web, or Web 3.0, another big word in our favor and in favor of technology, to grow more this market, right? I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but I think because we tend to do that, we are tending to the spatial web, and we are going to have glasses, on our faces. Our smartphones will be obsolete. So, and that might be 3 or 5 years from now. So we need to be ready about that, and we need to be ready how to explain that to our present clients and our potential clients, because let me just launch the discussion here about what you think about we trying to build solutions with using this big word.
Thank you, João. I really hope that your MVP goes well. You said many interesting things, and you said something about educate the market, and Gonçalo also said something about that people only know AR through Pokemon, right? So that's the only thing that pops to their mind. And when we look to China, Japan, and Korea, sometimes we think, okay, in terms of technology, they are living in the future. So I want to ask Indira, do you think that's true? The market is different, and how can we collaborate with companies that are in a different market, and maybe a more mature market? And you've been through all the pains that we are going through now in Portugal or in Europe.
Yeah, thank you everyone for the presentation. It was really interesting to listen to all of those, first of all. Well, to be honest, this is the things that we are trying to figure out. Is it true? Is it like really the things that the markets are different? Because the thing is that AR currently used on very popular social media, right? So people everywhere in the whole world, they're using same Instagram or Snapchat apps or other applications where they where AR is applicable every day. And sometimes people don't even know that they are using augmented reality. They think that augmented reality is something that no one knows what about. It's coming. It's something from Terminator movies, or something for gamers like those who playing Pokemon Go. Well, I don't know. I think it's more in our lives than people are actually realizing it. And maybe it's more futuristic in Asian countries than in other parts of the world. But I think people are trying to accept it more. They're interested in it more. I'm more concerned about like facilities, because sometimes internet connections or what kind of devices you have can be the challenge, to rather than saying that the society is not ready to accept the technology. Like people are saying it's too complicated. No, there are talking about our generations that are younger. They are into technologies too much. When we were kids, we were reading books, and now kids are playing with planchets. They're playing with some pads. Where everybody has smartphone. So I wouldn't say that there is a big need to educate society. Maybe we have to show it that it's more mainstream. Like saying that it is mainstream is more important than saying that it's something new. I don't know. That's like, as I said, we are looking into going outside of Korea to enter other markets. That's why we're trying to figure it out. Like, is it really true? Are we supposed to see a challenge? For example, if we are going to Europe, if everybody will be telling us, no, we are not ready to your technology, because it's pretty easy. Just open your smartphone and see what wasn't there before. So I don't know. What do you think about it?
Eduardo, may I say something?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I really think that the current problem we have is not in terms of adoption, but in terms of usefulness. Okay, so we I don't know, we not Europeans, but I think everyone, we still haven't found, or there still haven't been built those apps that we find to be useful. We use a lot of things, and social filters are definitely one of the things that everyone uses, which are augmented reality, but they don't even know that it is. But the reason why they don't think it's augmented reality is because they don't find it to be useful. It's not something that they use and they need to use. It's something considered kind of futile. And I think we need to reach a point where there are some apps that we say, okay, that's it, I need that in my life. And that's why augmented reality is now mainstream. Because in fact, augmented reality is mainstream. You have millions of users every day using filters on social media. every single day, every single hour. So it is mainstream. But the notion of what is augmented reality is not mainstream because of that lack of usefulness. So there are a few apps out there that are trying to work on that by creating things that are really, really useful. But I think we need to work more as developers. We need to work more on that, finding the right balance between what's wow and what's useful. I think it's our fault.
Let me ask you, João and Gonçalo, are we ready to tell better stories for museums, for retail, or any other verticals that using AR? Let's say, are we ready to incorporate audio to AR and to tell stories that are make my stomach turn, right? Or what do we need to get there?
I think João told one thing that is very important to understand this, because one big difference is I'm using a filter in Snapchat or I'm using an AR filter in Snapchat. It's totally different sentence, because people use filters, as Indira said, and they don't know they are using the augmented reality. So they are using Snapchat filters. Okay? And that, I think, is the trigger to bring this technology. You say that is mainstream, but what is mainstream? Is AR or Snapchat filters? Okay, that is a big difference. Regarding that killer application, and trying to answer also to Eduardo's question, I think one thing that we lack in the experiences that I'm seeing, in some of the experience, is this singularity of the experience. I cannot do an experience with my friends. I need to do it alone. Okay? Normally, it's not something that you are doing with a group of people. And I think when you have an application where you can go to a museum and have or an exhibition, and your friend will go with you also, even if virtually, I think that will be a kind of application that might bring people to use it, because we are social people, so we like to see things together and not by alone. Okay, so I think it lacks. There are some companies that are trying to do that, like Mozilla. They have a platform which is Mozilla Hubs, that you can kind of see things together with your friends. In AR, there are some projects that already have networking. I don't know if Let's See has this multiplayer capabilities, where, for instance, I see AR in a school for helping teachers to understand things that you normally don't understand in a 2D screen. But from the solutions I see, each student will have a target in different places in their phones. So when the technology reaches a point where you can put a digital object in one place in the room and everyone sees in the same place, I think this kind of technology will trigger the usage of it. I don't know what is your. I talked about different different subjects, but I don't know what you think about it.
Well, let me. Well, about I totally agree with João. Also, there is lots of unuseful apps about VR and AR. We also ourselves do that because our clients ask us that. Some of our clients ask us that. We try to direction them to a more useful way. But mainly, that's one thing that well, I'm not contributing to that, but it's the thing that AR and VR right now are just are mostly showbiz technology for the companies to market their products and their experiences. This is not bad, but it depends on the developers and the creators, the creators to build great experiences that well, that give you the wow moment, but also to give you the useful moment. Because for example, there is an app that exists a long years ago. I think it's not even it's considered AR because it's positioned in 3D. That it's the Sky Night, right? An app that you turn on the camera, you point to the sky, and you know where are the stars and what's happening in the sky right now. So I think that's useful. That's a good example of a useful AR app. But the thing is, which company wants to build an app like that? And what revenue does that app give to the companies and to the clients that want to build something about on that technology? Because I'm saying that to a business to business focused model, right? The business to consumer, well, that's another story. But I'm saying it, my opinion. I'm telling in my opinion in business to business. So it's a hard reality that we have to try to avoid and to give our best to create best experiences and educate our clients that that doesn't fit, that needs to be more useful to the end user, right? Because in the end, the user will install or not the app because of that usefulness. So and I think the killer app on AR and VR and XR of all of that will be it needs to be an operative system. It needs to be an operative system that is built on AR, because it must be Microsoft or Apple or whatever to build the next operative system on 3D positioning and AR or VR or whatever. Microsoft is right now is doing that, but they don't consider it. Well, if you see it, it's an operative system. It's Windows 10 on AR. So HoloLens, it's Windows 10 in AR. You can right now use the HoloLens and navigate through your apps just like your usual working on the PC. So that's what will drive other companies and other developers to create more and more apps for that killer app that is the operative system. So we need an operative system more than a WebXR open source API. We need an operative system. We need big brands to build and launch their operative system and in massification, because Microsoft is doing it. So they are losing some traction, but I believe when Apple does that, it will be the killer app that we are waiting for, and it will be more sooner than we are expecting. So I think that will be a turning point, even for us that we are used to build AR and VR apps. We will need to adapt to their operative system and to the way they say the rules to develop to their systems and to reach the users, right? So and I think HoloLens is a great example of that, and I think that's the way. But they are losing some traction. I don't know why, but I think when Apple will launch it, that I'm sure that they will. The things will be changing more faster. So that's one thing we need to be ready for.
Yeah, we're just approaching like 1 hour of this webinar, so I'll make a quick question to Indira, and then I would like just everybody to say their last words and to give like a message if you want. While we wait for the killer app or for the killer operational system, some people said that 5G would be something that we needed to do immersive, right? And I'm going to ask Indira, how is 5G in Korea, and have you seen any change of the public to use 5G to consume immersive content? Has it changed a lot or not so much?
I just wanted to add a little bit to the previous discussion about how useful is ER, because I think ER is superior technology to what is available on the web, and I think that technology advanced like this, it cannot be unuseful. I think it's very useful in general. When, for example, iPhone launched iPhone 12 and they put it on their website, you can see the model in AR. You can turn it out like from all sides and you can see it. I think it is useful. It's more convenient when you do shopping online, when you log down at home during coronavirus and you're thinking about to buy the fridge and you cannot go to the shop and check it because it's dangerous. You just can see it in AR from all sides. You can see how the doors opens, you can see, and AR is bringing it to you. So I think it's we cannot really discuss how useful can be ER. The other thing is application of it. This is the thing. And about talking about mobile apps, as we are providing solutions where you don't need to download mobile apps, I think yeah, I just wanted to add that you don't always have to build the app. You can use softwares like the one that Let's See is providing to publish it, and so it will be more accessible to be because in Korea, people are more concerned about like downloading another application because why make me do that? Why would I do this? And as to 5G, well, we have the fastest internet in the world already. So yeah, it's something new. It's something like people would buy a new phone that is supporting 5G because there is a 5G in Korea. But I cannot say that if you are outside of technology, if you are not working in a tech industry, if you are not in the startups, and if you are not in this actual environments, I cannot say that in usual life there are big changes with 5G coming, because there is something new coming every day. And yeah, there is a new phone that's supporting 5G, so I have to buy it most likely, because then it will be faster and more technologies will be available, because they will be coming into life and it will be easier for me to live. The life is very convenient here in the sense of technologies, and like new services are coming out every day. And whenever there is a problem, everybody knows, oh, there is probably an app for it. There is probably an application or service available that can solve it. So it's very natural. There is nothing like, oh, there is a 5G, my life has changed. Not really. Yeah, that's probably what I can say. It's coming a little bit smoother.
Yeah, it's incremental. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. João, Gonçalo, please.
Well, I guess I'll go first. So, I just want to add that your technology, Indira, sounds really good, and I think all of us are extremely interested in being beta testers here in Europe. So please allow us to do it. And I just want to add that one last thing that would be one thing that I believe it's lacking on all the XR ecosystem is sound. and as you said, Eduardo, very well, that the killer app may be a good application of sound. And we as sound engineers, some of us, are actively working on getting spatial audio onto the web. And that is something that is really interesting when you go into a museum and you actually have a guide speaking to you from here, that you can listen and that you can follow, even if you don't see it. Sometimes that augmented reality with just audio can be so much more immersive and so much more creative, because it lets you imagine some more, and it also alleviates the constraint of dealing with huge 3D assets and animations and whatnot, because we're really good at dealing with sound on our smartphones right now, and that also can get to the next level using an HoloLens or a Magic Leap or whatever. But yes, sound is probably the killer app.
Thank you.
Yes, and just a final remark that can bring the sound also to the table. I read an article regarding diminished reality, which is augmented reality to take something from the reality. Okay, and it was a very interesting article where you can have therapeutical solutions for autists, for instance, where they enter in a crowded place, and then the glasses will take out the sound of it, but we'll also bring some concerns. And one use case was for children who can mute their parents when their parents gave in some orders. And so we need to be very careful about what we develop, because the people can be very creative and children are always ahead of us.
Yeah.
Well, just to finish in my remarks, I think from some years from now, the technology is going to be really strange. I think it's going to be really strange if we mix all the technologies that we know right now, like and XR will be the layer of visualization and feeling the experience, or the feeling the what other technologies can provide. But I think it's going to be really strange. Just imagine Elon Musk implementing a nanochip on our brains, and we can, from one day to another, gain superpowers on visualizing all of this XR on this XR field, right? So it's going to be really strange, because we will have eventually the option to implement the operative system in our brains or on our glasses, and we'll be very seamless with the environment. So the sound will be a major to be a seamless experience. But I imagine a world where people just have their digital screens floating around their heads and all on their reality, and they will be more focused on their reality than just interacting with other persons, for example. That's one of the social issues that these technologies can bring, or not. It depends on the creators and the developers and all of the people that works on these areas. So I think it will be very strange, because we will have abilities to access data and to visualize data just about everything in a blink of an eye. So it's going to be really strange. How do we adapt to that? How do we deal with that? So that's one of the open questions that I read here. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, and I'm very glad that we touched very briefly, but on ethics and about these strange words that we might build, but we hope we don't, right? And I know that we could talk for another hour. Maybe we have to ask Anésio and Luis to schedule another of those talks in the beginning of next year. So, but we need to finish now. I want to thank you, everybody, and especially Indira. It's 4 a.m. in Korea now, and we know it's not easy to be up this hour. So thank you so much. And I hope that, Portuguese startups and South Korean companies can get together one way or another and to find common problems and common solutions and to create something new. Let's hope that happens. So thank you, everybody, for watching us. Thank you, guys. And well, see you soon, hopefully in person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you.